It was an ominous warning by the US president during mass protests against the police killing of George Floyd. Shortly after Donald Trump's tweet, Twitter issued a warning for the first time, saying his message glorified violence. Facebook didn't follow suit, sparking a rare protest by some staff.
Right now, Facebook is trying to walk a really dangerous line or a really fine line in any case, between free speech and hate speech. So Zuckerberg has said repeatedly that they don't want to be an arbiter of truth. So some things are being taken down, but particularly when it comes to a lot of inflammatory remarks that Trump has made, this is where they kind of fall short.
Now, a campaign by rights groups urging companies to stop advertising on Facebook during July is gaining momentum. More than 400 brands, including Adidas, Coca-Cola, Ford, Honda, and Unilever, one of the world's largest advertisers of consumer goods, are pausing their ad campaigns. The boycott is aimed at causing enough financial damage to force Facebook boss Mark Zuckerberg into changing his policy.
What brands are asking now for is for the industry to put in place advertising industry-wide policies which are consistent across the board, which means setting standards of what is harmful content. Today, definition of harmful content will depend on the platform you're dealing with. It is about finding common ways of reporting the incidence of harmful content. It is about putting in place third-party verification for the data which is being reported. And it's about creating tools which allow brands to be making informed decisions on where they want their ads to be placed.
With more than 2 billion users, Facebook has long been accused of not doing enough to stop misinformation, fake news, and propaganda from spreading among its users.
We're going to start labeling content.
Last Friday, Zuckerberg announced that Facebook will start flagging newsworthy content that violates its rules and take violent content down, among other measures. And on Tuesday, Facebook announced that it is banning a US-based violent anti-government network broadly connected to the Boogaloo movement, but stopped short of banning all references to the far-right pro-gun network whose supporters believe violence could lead to a second US civil war. The July boycott seems to have got Zuckerberg's attention, but it remains to be seen if it will have enough impact on Facebook's profits to force more meaningful action. Priyanka Gupta, Al Jazeera.
Derek Johnson is President and CEO of the National Association for the Advancement of Coloured People, or NAACP. It is the oldest civil rights organisation in the US. He joins us now live from Jackson, Mississippi via Skype. Thank you so much for your time, sir. Are you heartened by the response so far by these brands to the calls to boycott Facebook advertising?
I think many companies see the urgency of the moment. If we want to keep people safe and protect our democracy, platforms such as Facebook must take more responsibility and put in place guardrails so that groups like this Boogaloo group are not able to recruit members and make plans to cause harm to the general public, which happened last month.
As we reported there were some last-minute talks. Facebook executives apparently put forward some press releases. Why doesn't Facebook's proposed changes go far enough?
We've been in conversation with Facebook for over 2 years. They have both the technology and the ability to implement the necessary guardrails. They have simply failed to do so. Gradual steps will not resolve the issues that many on the platform see. Advertisers have stepped up, many of whom realize that next to their advertisement are racial hate groups are also advertising next to it. If we want this country to be the society we all proclaim it to be, corporations like Facebook must be more accountable for how they are allowing their platform to be used to spread racial hatred.
This campaign that obviously the NAACP was part of starting has a long list of proposed actions. I'm wondering, what for you are the most pressing changes that Facebook should be making? What should be at the very top of the list?
Well, two things. Ensuring that we're keeping people safe and we're protecting our democracy. There are specific things that fall under those two buckets that Facebook can produce. We've had multiple conversations. They've had an internal audit, independent audit. There are many recommendations in that audit that has been rolled out over the last 2 years. They simply must execute on what's in front of them. How are they maintaining the algorithms so they're not promoting racial hate groups, and so those groups can recruit people, and how they are positioning themselves to ensure our elections this year is not tampered with by either domestic or foreign influences.
The Black Lives Matter movement has got this huge impetus, this huge movement, this huge can't quite find the word, but you know what I mean. It's got this this pace to it right now. Is this now part of turning protest into policy? You know, changing and really rooting out racism that is endemic in so many societies?
Well, that's our goal as an organization. NAACP, we are working hard now to move the peaceful protesters to the place of power through exercising their rights to vote and doing so at record numbers. That sends a value message because the policymakers who get elected must carry forward those values. So when we get to public policy implementation, that public policy would reflect the values, but more importantly, begin to address the systemic issues of structural racism that has plagued this nation not only for decades, for centuries.
Thank you so much for your time. Unfortunately, we have to leave it there for time. Derek Johnson, their President and CEO of the NAACP. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity.